Hello viewers, welcome to Fort Nagaland News. Apne hange amihan na society lo porte hodai alag alag khobor loina ai thake na once again arobi amihan logo sir GB Kahuto aina se. Sir, thank you so much. Amihan time dia arna. Aro ajila issue to asukul icha ekdom dangor issue chila sulubi to masa hisab te news channels khani man cover no kunesun. Be Assam be Nagaland to Kaziranga University de ki hoina ase sir. Apni we to you are closely following it.
Yes.
So itu lah pura apni lah bhavna ek bar koi dulu ame hange start mukha gitu.
Sabi Zubin Garg to yeah, maybe he was famous in Assam.
Nah,
But mudi kita bhi hunna ne holy Friday evening. Ita time stamp bhi ase mola mokan school group ase to. Itu log pura kan na. To tadi Assamese kan na pure Ahom kan. Then Hindu Muslim kan na. To ekjon pra thali so mori se koi na. And nothing very extraordinary, just normal condolences. Mudu tadi, I don't know who he is. No? I don't know who he is though. But then aste build up kore ase na. So ini size moi real kandi ekta dekhi se it was quite thing. Digan wala ekta ke bon kuro bole na.
Yes.
By force kuro to bra hala kore kena na. So tadi comment kan. Sabo lagi deh. Tadi 90%, 10% itu mana lah dengan jolai dia lagi ke 90% hari itu semua lah culture ini itu. Nah, orang itu Zubin Garg zinda thaki se boleh he would not have approved. By force pra oil. So I was watching all that. Nah, suddenly itulah issue lah itu. Kaziranga University lah. तो मैं तो context तो जाना नहीं. बोले मैं video देखा लोग. It is suspicious. Kini minute am group boy ase to na. Aro manola thing na majot brai na thing na ki ini khiche ase to. So मैं tadi, but I didn't think much of it. Na holy भी आस्ते itu snowball हुआ ase to. तो WhatsApp group एक tadi भी मैं WhatsApp group तीन tadi thaki se de. Why? Because मैं WhatsApp डाल से tadi na if we discuss issues na na परे दो. Middle di manu ahile na. To ekta bosti lai je ekta mola school group na mai gidi aro ekta thagi moi tadi bai bulai je na. Tadi itlo issue lai je sensitivity thagi bulai je boys na. I said, hey, under law, which law says that you have to respect the sensitivity of others? Tadi ba moan olop kajau lai je. The law versus sensitivity na. So if we have to respect people's sensitivities, then stop sending missionaries to India, mainland India. One missionary can pothabo tati takana religious sensitivity hurt kuriasido.
yes sir.
No, but the law says that we are freedom of religion. They are kuriasido. So when you have freedom of expression, so it is tempered. Only tadi itu one of my young friends, Aranjumla Kichu, okay, Muksun Times. I believe she's associate editor. Tara post ekta chokra pra she barba explain kudise. Aru moi to be share with Facebook page ti. When it becomes hate speech, freedom of speech and hate speech to alaga. So he made it very clear, Bishop Barber, saying that gay can get gin laga ki jo ala kole bi murai dibo like that sort of thing, no. So okay, it is very insensitive to the boy, but he said I don't know who he is, and he was asking Queen Murad and the amnian bi mon ko isme no. So itu ini argue kuria then de I ulta moi je I always think I'm right always but don't mo gussa bra and no sal is ne jadak so bright guys why? Because I research. I use my brains, critical thinking. With a critical thinking, you have to think critically. Blindly mob Lord, majority sentiment,
So it's a I mean society demo kota ulai thake icha. Itu chokra ke bisi ke kras. To itu chokra la call out apni jab explain kudise. Ole ola bhal batai what he say. Apna bhavna kya se to pore.
To itu question to thai na I will come back to that. But tai will possibly context la kotha ko de. Only exactly the sequence of events. आगे ब्रा that was my stand मैं तो change कराना है the middle day ना आगे ब्रा मैं तो छोकरा तो okay it was insensitive but nothing illegal मैं लिखले ऐसा पुलिस तक arrest कराना ना और मैं compare करूँ तो नागा mob खान ना ऐसा mob और नागा mob ना I compare मैं तो इतु ताला comment तो इतु छोड़ी के ना mob ला mentality ला कोठा दिया है इसको तो आरो इतु एक जन बड़ा कोई से under law mon left side टी चला बोला ये ना होली भी एक जन truck ना दिखती एक टाइ forgot ना wrong side आले मुझे बड़ा side दी बोला ये ना मुझे बोलने okay in that case Graham Stins missionary day ओडिशा दे दारा सिंह को ये ना तो बजरंग दल बड़ा ताई आरो ताला पचान गाड़ी तो माता में जुलाई दिस so that is his fault ताई जाने दो इतु कान तो बजरंग दल खान तो against ऐसे हुए ना mob खान तो ना so why did he think that the law will protect him that people have the right to freedom of religion see ना so all that होली भी मैं post करा पास जे आस्ते आस्ते context होला ऐसे दो तो एक जन बड़ा ताई कोई से दो ना तान साथी ग्रुप ऐसे तो होता ही नहीं है कोई तो उठान में नागा के इंसान करे ताई ना बोले भी आउटसाइडर एक ता बड़ा ना
दूसरा रूम बड़ा
खिच्ची के ना शेयर कर से सोशल मीडिया दी और तादी बाहर मानु कान बड़ा आहे के ना इंडिया कोई से and still we are blaming that boy ना अरे कॉन्टेक्स्ट ये जोरहाट ताई जोरहाट ती जाएगा ना तादी बड़ा वापस आए बोले गाड़ी ना पा पड़ा distance मैं check करे से कौन बा काजीरंगा यूनिवर्सिटी जोरहाट टाउन एंड काजीरंगा यूनिवर्सिटी around 20 kilometers ऐसे तो
seriously
yeah I checked मैं भी ना जाने तो कि नहीं मुझे काजीरंगा यूनिवर्सिटी was formed just recently मैं खाली में थी मैं 1989 की last SM पार हो जाए private गाड़ी पर कि नहीं मुझे after मेरा पानी वार ना SM पुलिस पर harass करा ना आलची लगी ना कल बस पर होले को मैं ना but private गाड़ी पर तो it was formed in 2012 ना तो ताई जोरहाट पर गरम दिन दी की जाने कौन नो लिफ्ट मांगे ना कि frustrate कोई ना ऐसे तो that is the context is he was frustrated plus he was with his friends plus they were drinking plus this was their normal banter
yeah conversation मासी दामाली
आरो मैं इतु को ऐसे तो ताई ऐसे बोले किले ताई के बिचारे हार नहीं किले दोसाक सब के threaten करी ऐसे कोथा इतु ऐसे तो ना मैं I'm not saying that anybody else was beaten up but there are rumors floating around तारे comment global window दे ऐसे बोला दे comment एक तो ठीक है ना ऐसे तो नागा माने बिशने मारे जे कोई ना नोक्से भी ऐसे कोई ना not by Naga by Assamese आरो ताई कोई this is we Assamese we don't do this ना it is all mixed ना ताई भी all insulting group ऐसे mixed breed kanti की प्लान ना but anyway for the sake of keeping things calm ना इतना कोथा दिन ना जाओ ना because we don't have proof or nothing अरे भी तो ऐसे तो इतना जुबन गाग ला मुरा निमिति ना तागलास morning period insensitive ला कोथा में नागा माने ये मारे बोले ऐसे आये तो बुझी भी ना नागा माने ये मारे बोले ऐसे तो mob तो और इतो छोकरा जो already बिजोड़ी शादी का lot ना before outsiders came तंबाक मांगे से हुए तो मान नो but they didn't accept ना इतो सब grudge था ला ना तो नागा माने तो बुझी बोला ये ना we are not living in wells ना we are living in a fishbowl action by action ये देखे ऐसे कौन बच्ची करे ऐसे ना इतने नागालैंड भी साइड ना मगन के मान बार mob ना इंटरनेट ना ती डाली के ना mob gather करे ना plain मानू ये ना तो थान भी चुकरी से so I don't blame them I am blaming the Nagas who are speaking out against the Naga boy ना एक coward खाने से तो always searching for scapegoat ना नागालैंड corruption को ले Rio अंगामी मोला 59 tribe ला MLA Rio के सब को तो इतवान की क्लियर चार्ज नो करे निजोला ये चार्ज करे भी ना always searching for scapegoat मैं तो छोकरा ये कोई तो बोई ना लगे मोटा ऐसे it happens in life ना walk away मैं भी नहीं है पेश लोग करेंगे ना ऐसे आर्मी लाहट पर भी मारे खाई से 16 years हॉट एमडी मैं एक बार तो कोई दिल्ली दी भी ना एक की हो वो मोटा ऐसे किधर वो दिन हो don't get scared and don't feel ashamed we did nothing wrong ना मानो ब्राय आपने ये बिट्रे करे ऐसे ना Itu as.
Sir, apni icha kwa tamde jadam bi to comments la kotha bi olai ase or regarding mop la kotha kwa to idu ekta janum je tharo koi je nisna apni bra amian bra kuri ni dekhai ni ga kure asu do internet phat dal debo kya wo ekta friends mane ki group kurna to idu mop mentality itu lo porol am hangro janai didos.
See, India dina poila do okay, there were very infrequent cases of caste na or religious ke baat de only be acting so BJP agine it's become the norm de itia Maharashtra de Maharaj kotha ko bola ke kwa Canada de Canada kotha ko bola na mob rule na is very common. Why? Because the law is not enforced. Na law enforcement nai do it is collapsing. Kadi Nagaland in across India, across the Western world. Sabina, Chaleko Morado. Itia kunmi all of the Kotako na paredo against that. Na freedom of speech koi.
Marriage boila ise
aro muiji be attack korisu moi to kwado na divine justice koi ne kin mi tai nijo mukpra poisu do he is willing to accept the death of people every year as long as they can carry guns. No more divine justice says to it. Tala nijo mukpra na every year America the average 30,000 manu murido. Gun control na thabra. To mano kan bra gun bandu boom kuripi ko abin huido. Ini gun control laws or tai to tai to against agis do. Autai ko to manu murli bi kunai. Mo la right to preserve kuri bolai. To tai bi bandu from murize. तो तारे की गलती की ना अरे Christianity la kotha bhi hola is na. So this is mob mentality na. We don't even understand the principles na. Charlie Kirk to transgender kan na. That is only a small part of his agenda. Money making was his biggest agenda. Christianity na chamra la na surface Christianity. Asli Christianity na chamra Christianity. Aro gun company khan la na. So that sort of thing na. To yedi Zubin Garg yes, he was beloved by Assamese. But people are using that agenda for their own purposes.
Many.
Many. Yeti bi itla issue pa Naga mone ke sabole mona thaka sob get ro koina Kaziranga University. The Naga mone ke attack kuri ase to. So things like that na. To mob. Now, this is the problem with not enforcing the law. Mob rule ho jai do. Mob pra kot kure do. Except ho jai do na. So we must. This is what I'm trying to fight against. Now, more awareness na create kure kushish kure. So this is not how a modern society na progressive society works. Na. So moi to Kaziranga University, I'm giving an example of that. But I'm correlating it with what's happening in Nagaland. Nagaland giving one India also. Are police also? Police case kuribina. But they know that they don't have grounds for police case. It only mob gather going na police. Our government be man. Hijra government also. Action logo na pare do. Mob la wish till lo jai do. It is.
Regarding this case, sir. आपने खबर तो बिशी पाई ना like I think you have some photos also to barricade kan itu han तो itu हमों इधे हमें आज morning while I was going through internet YouTube especially किनका one of the student union president not president but student union office bearers ताइबा हमें our brother इधर से बाहर बाहर कोई नहीं लोग पड़े especially regarding the it was abuse sign that goal.
Yes.
So it was sign up now. It low put
no, they handled it very well. Okay, thanks to governor of Nagaland ko na police minister kan alak na governor of Assam na. But I think the most thanks should go to the hostel warden na Mr. Deka I believe na.
Yeah. Hostel warden na for.
Sabi na idu ani ko Naga mano na at least learn na title kan jani bi na. Ki manu ki title buke Hindu la title ki aise, Muslim la title ki aise na mogan to blindly VJ koile to Mia. Ay na it is so absurd na. So Deka, they're pure Assamese. So he deserves the majority thanks because he was there first. He tried to think. Aru tadi Assamese can be I got thing no that they try to they help their friends.
Yeah, they have help.
Only one is na key reason you need kun prize na you have to also think na. Ido couldn't question my porridge, but when you see a drop of water, you don't have to see the ocean to understand that it could form an ocean, it could form a waterfall or a river. We should also understand. Critical thinking it's an understand idea. There's some hidden agenda behind it. The Naga Manage Sabuli Mona Taka, yes, it's not about Zabinga. It is. Moi to Kobuli Mona. It's not about Zabinga. It's Naga Manage Sabuli Mona Taka. So we should also think, why do people dislike us? Why do certain people, not everybody, it will be Bagu like it, or valid Hoina Noi. It will be Bagu like it.
Ki kula sa apne sir ko risoli moi ekta jane umon jai thaka to icha like journalist kurne inega Assam bra berai inorne Nagaland na alag alag parts kan jaina I am the bisibar lok paisa Assamese mana mo jana tok to from my experience Assamese aru ma betor ko moi inga biadu dikhana jitok ma morom gore na gari biya hoise ekdin tala gore baat khelaise ki inga bohine Assamese gamsa inga na mare ni jaise Assamese burai ta lok paisa aji tok phone gore moge beta ginga ase na. So like it's 3-4 years now, he still calls me. So my it also babine or it incident sign movie all no boja. I feel like it on the Assamese can no hini ki mai like
maybe to babe because gussa to na edo kun pra khichi se it identity bisare bo like
I do video
the fellow hoding na because it with malicious intent na Sadia Majudina, Tamasa, Kota, Bia Koido, especially Takan. So, that is more me. So, more request Nagamanu Lord, at least, more like young brothers or son. Ay, Niana, Tadi Babise, Iman do Brakuno Rogum Hostel Punjina, relaxing a Satikan Lotan, Kiki Kotakura, and he never expected this. Arena blow up around one eating Nagamana blame it on the coward as they may do pass. They don't want to address the bigger issue. Now, Asli to Kia said, it on it, who to Chokrake, scapegoat ideas. To Bujibi.
To sir, is a student's conman. I know Buyasi Nagaland, I think 370.
350. So maybe 390, 370,
74.
It was union leader about 350. It's not one, it's no. Anyways, okay, yeah, 300 plus.
Itu tangi ita message apni ki futai dum just kila mana they are the ones who are affected.
Yes, more a message to in particular our young tribe Nokubo friend who was the thing center of eye of the storm. But in general, terms of locals, boy na lang episode ke. Eko no. De, kini midi itu this lumping elements ko de. Ini society la riff-raff faltukan Takan do, they are also cowards. They will only gather when they have an excuse. So ini let Zubin Gard's thing 3 days. Wisdom tala morning. I think you can go back and I think the university also should retract the suspension of the young boy because it's a very subjective issue. Objective no though. So when you subjective issue go out and the angle dosra bar side to dosra reading ulai do objective means ki angle par sale be ki hai so it is very subjective tai iku kanuni ku bhanga nai and ita manuso par janne se itu context sale ta tamasa takan ini
asidama
the usual thing so anyway let's see na kina progress kuro kina develop aro tari ati misa ko wa mogan la CM bra SMCM lot ko balagyo itu chokra ge na ini our accept koi bi koi na that is his duty he's supposed to be the leader of the state of Nagaland na aro tai pra koile tu Mr. Himanta Biswas Sharma tai accept tibo kuri bu aro tai pra koile tu aro university bi na so na there are certain ways to handle things na let's see na itu ase aro ini kon is na student kan bi ko boy lage bole na very unfortunate but these are all part of growing up okay life tina ani niya lokri thage na so in fact the earlier you experience this the better na bura hoigina na adapt corona para then the niya how to na traumatic young people you can think no get over ne it
Sir, thank you so much. Ajibe amenge time de arne aro amhan itu ekdom itu situation opore janum je thaching arne I know apni don bishi follow kore thake so like apno hena aro eta ekbar time de arne bishi things aro akase age dibi jaina enika time loi thako bune to viewers icha kum je thakro sir ba kinika ase bhal ba janai dise aro especially ame ana bhai itu junto this time one controversial line budnam hoine ase sir ba koise munduk nukurbi itu koi janis na ene society de ki ase to hoi thake to bhal ba explain kori dise I don't have to explain more hole tai mon dangor koi kun janai dise regarding students can be things will come back to normal aro sir ba koi janis na joldi life to experience hoy bhal ase itu life to ki ki experience in jabo itu lo khota loina khatam kor dase aro yete ki lobul ase itu lobi aro ki lobul mon na itu that is up to you to decide kon is na jibi itu koine ete interview khatam kor dase to inga khobor aro alak alak khobor karne apne said Fort Nagaland News Mara Machumi for FNN